Oh, hello, this is Tak Chung from Walk with Tak. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and share. Feel free to write to me at walkwithtak@gmail.com if you have any question regarding to this video or any videos that I've posted in the past. I go for the same walk each morning, and I took these pictures. I hope that you like them. The goal of my YouTube channel is to help you to make home cooking as part of your daily routine. And I realized that home cooking is only sustainable when it is spontaneous and intuitive. And my fast cooking system is designed to achieve this goal. And with flavor chasing, advanced prepping, stir frying, and template-based cooking, you do not need to use recipes. And each time when you walk into the kitchen, the idea should come to you automatically because you have all those ingredients available to you, and right there, it will help you to decide what you're going to cook that evening. Now in this video, I'm going to show you a dish that I cooked the other night. Again, it's totally spontaneous and intuitive because I have some noodles available in the refrigerator. So the first thing I decided to do is that I'm going to make some pan-fried noodles to make a chow mein dish. Now the pan-fried noodles, in many ways, you can consider that as an Asian dish, but on the other hand, it really is not because the noodles that I use are spaghetti pasta noodles. They are noodles that you can buy in any supermarket. They are not specialized Asian noodles at all. And this is where home cooking makes it a lot of fun because now you can use whatever ingredients that you have find it on hand and you modified it in such a way to create the type of a dish that you want. Now I want to show you that I did this pan-fried noodles in the wok. Obviously, you can pan-fry these noodles in any type of frying pan or skillet. And the reason I have always want to demonstrate in my cooking system is that the flexibility as well as the ability to make modifications. The wok turned out to be one of those cooking utensils that you can use it to cook almost anything that you would like. It is not designed just for stir frying. In this case, it is used as a frying pan to pan fry the noodles. And that has a lot of advantage because simplicity is ultimately make your home cooking more enjoyable. And flexibility will allow you to cook more often because once you have an idea, you can execute it and you can use whatever cooking utensil, in this case the wok that's available to you, allow you to use it for many different cooking functions. Now this pan-fried noodles is excellent. It's one of our favorite dish. Now most people do not think about frying pasta noodles, but it turned out that because of the way how the texture is like, it makes it truly very, I would say, appetizing at the same time. The unusual nature of the texture really allow you to enjoy the noodles far more, I believe, than any other ways that you can cook this pasta noodles. And if you have never tried, I strongly recommend you to give it a try. So let's talk about how you do this. The first thing is that you need to store the noodles in the refrigerator for about 24 to 48 hours. 40 hours is better. The reason is that it will dry out the noodles, so it will not stick to the bottom of the wok. As you can see in here, the noodles do not stick at all. The secondly is that once you put the noodles in the wok, as you saw in the beginning, is that you toss the noodles so you can coat the noodles with oil that will prevent them from sticking. The third thing that's really important is that you need to adjust your heat so that the heat level is at low or medium low. This will prevent the noodle from getting burned. What I do is that I usually set the timer. I let the noodles to cook for about a minute and then I turn it and I let it cook for another minute. And sometimes I let it cook for a minute and a half to 2 minutes, but it all depends on how much time you have. When you cook it like this, you notice that the noodles will not stick and it will not also burn the noodles. And the best way for this noodle to achieve the best texture, for it to be slightly brown, and it will give it a nice, light, crispy texture, but it will not be crunchy. In the past, I am in a hurry, I would turn the heat up too high, and this will end up burning the noodles, and it become too crunchy, and which I really do not like it. but you can experiment and find out what is the best texture that you would like. Now, when you do everything correctly, you will notice that there's nothing stick to the bottom of the wok. The wok is completely clean, and this demonstrates that you are cooking the noodle just right. And cooking it at a slow temperature is really essential. Okay, it takes a little bit of time to fry these noodles. Usually it takes about 10 minutes. But I'm almost convinced that you will find it's worth your time, because the flavor of the noodle is truly outstanding and you don't really need to put anything on it. It's just naturally that crispy texture give you that exceptional culinary experience, which I think very few other dishes able to achieve. When I walk into the kitchen as I am cooking the noodles, I decided that I want to use up some of the vegetables that I have, and I have some eggplant. Now, I don't know if you like eggplant or not. Eggplant, when you cook it right, again, is a truly wonderful culinary experience. I have a lot of people told me that they don't like eggplant, but if you cook it correctly, the eggplant is truly a great vegetable, and it has the kind of unique texture. Now, in this case, I'm going to fry the eggplant. There's a secret in frying the eggplant, is that you have to make sure that the eggplant is properly cooked and saturated with oil, because the oil will soften the texture of the eggplant. In here, in addition to the eggplant, I add two kinds of mushroom. I start out with some oyster mushroom, and then I also add some portobello mushroom. Now, the combination of mushroom really makes this dish taste great. As I have mentioned earlier, the complexity of flavor is really important for you to enjoy the food. At the same time, complexity of flavor will help you to enhance your level of satiation. Now, the eggplant and the mushroom take a little bit of time to cook, and then next I add some zucchini. Again, I have the zucchini already cut up in the refrigerator, and this is where advanced prepping really will help you. Now, when I start out, I really do not think about using the zucchinis, but when I look in the refrigerator, I said, hey, I have some, I want to use it up. And then the last thing I'm going to add is some red cabbage, was given to me by a friend of mine. Again, all of this combination of these vegetables is something that I have never done before. So in many ways, this is the first time for me to cook this vegetable combination. What I demonstrate to you here is that the spontaneity. I did not plan all of this. And that spontaneity and that intuition of when to add certain type of vegetable are already ingrained in my head. I have done it so many times. I know the sequence of when to add a particular type of vegetables. And having this knowledge already in you, then now you have the capability to cook almost anything that you would like. Now, as shown here, pretty quick, I realized that I have achieved the goal that I have. And at this point, I noticed that some of the ingredients have burnt a little bit to the bottom of the wok. Now, this is a step will help you to clean your wok, whether you use a stainless steel wok, particularly you use a stainless steel wok, you want the wok to stay spotless. I add a tiny bit of water, and this will actually help me to clean the wok as I cook. But at the same time, it will help return the flavor back to the dish. So it is a win-win situation. At this point, I let the water basically to steam the vegetable a little bit, but don't put too much water. Next, I'm going to use a hot sauce with black bean. Now, this is a different approach that I have done in my past. I usually use a combination of oyster sauce and hoisin sauce, but I decided I want to make this dish slightly spicy, and this black bean chili sauce seems to be something good for me to try. And again, this is part of that flavor chasing. By making adjustment, how you flavor a dish, it will allow you to create more variation to your flavor, and in this case, your food never will be boring. And the reason I use this black bean sauce is because of the zucchini, which will really pick up that spicy sauce and make it good, and it will not be too spicy. After a little bit of taste testing, I decided that I'm going to add a touch of oyster sauce. Again, I'm so used to use the oyster sauce, probably hard to get away. This dish is really fast to cook. Now I'm going to lay the vegetable part that I cook right next to the noodles. And I have some fresh cherry tomatoes. This is cherry tomatoes given to me by a friend of mine. He had a great garden, and this time of the year, he still has some remaining cherry tomatoes. So he was very generously asked me to pick whatever that I want. And the cherry tomato tastes great, and I like to eat them raw. That's why I cut them in half, and I use it as a garnish rather than stir fry it together with the vegetables. Again, there are many different approaches. This is just one approach I choose to do. So, this dish is cooked entirely spontaneously without recipe through intuitiveness. I post a video each day. Help you to make home cooking both fun, practical, and efficient using my fast cooking system. And with flavor chasing, advanced prepping, stir frying, and tempeh-based cooking, you can make home cooking as part of your daily routine. So keep on cooking, and I will see you tomorrow.